He is all the way from Idaho. He runs his own conference up there known as Thrive, and he's the owner of Camas Prairie Insurance. The dude absolutely lights the Medicare supplement telesales world on fire, and I would appreciate it if you guys would give him a beautiful welcome. Let's please get my good buddy up here, Mr. Joshua Lustig.
Good morning. How are we? All right. Everybody, please stand up. Let's get some energy in the room. All right. By a show of hands that I can't really see, by a show of hands, who already knows something about me that you met me online? Okay. Raise your hand, please, now. Put your hands down. Raise your hand if you've never heard me or my story. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to talk about my story today. So if you don't know anything about me, I want to get right into some content. We have a lot to get through today. I want to teach you. I want to train you on some things. I want to have you taking 60 pages of notes, right? And so we're going to skip the story. So if you don't know who I am, I guess just trust I know what I'm talking about and go watch some videos online when we're done. All right, does that sound fair to everybody? All right. Well, I like to start by getting a little energy in the room. Well, stay standing. Thank you. To me, it's important, right? It's important that we're here. We're here to learn. We're here to take something away. Who remembers Brandon Clay from yesterday? I love Brandon Clay. And he's talking about the great I am statement, right? Anything that you put behind I am, I love that guy. Anytime you put something behind I am, it becomes true in your life if you say it consistently enough. The reason is our beliefs, the beliefs about ourselves, the beliefs about the world around us, that is what controls our actions. If you believe it's extremely hard to make money, you'll always find ways to make it difficult for yourself. If you believe that you are charismatic and you are a great networker, guess what happens? When opportunity presents itself, you walk up to a Richard Cantu at the bar and you say, "Hi, my name's Josh Lustig," and he trains you for 20 minutes. Wow, that's amazing. Because you believed that I'm a great networker. So we're going to start today, get ourselves in the right state of mind. I want you to repeat after me. I am charismatic. No, not I am charismatic. I am charismatic. I love what I do. I help people. I help people when I sell them. I love selling. I love picking up the phone. Somebody bring me a phone. All right, you guys, you can sit down. To me, our beliefs are important. I wish I could talk about that today, but I want to dive into something very concrete for you. I want to give you my marketing process. I have been known from some people to do webinars. Who here has tried webinars in any way, successfully or unsuccessfully? Who here does in-person seminars? I got like 3 people, really? Wow. Okay, a bunch of seminars. So I'm going to walk through that process today. First, though, I wasn't going to talk about this, and then I was sitting there thinking, of all the people that maybe are on the live stream joining us, I see a lot in these Facebook groups, people comparing numbers to other people. I've had a lot of conversations. I've been blessed to have conversations with the actual highest producers in the industry, many of them in this room today. And we were talking about this last night, actually with Danielle. I was fortunate enough to buy her some French fries, right? And we were talking about how a lot of people are comparing themselves constantly to everybody else. Every morning, I've done this since I was a sophomore in high school. Every morning I wake up, and the first thing that I want hitting my brain is gratitude. Gratitude for where we are at. Gratitude for the blessings that I've had in my life, the people that are in our lives. And yeah, life's not always easy. It's not, I get it. If you're going through a hard time right now, there's a lot of people that have anxiety in today's world, a lot, right? Sometimes it's self-induced, sometimes not. I don't want to get into that. A lot of anxiety around, hey, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not to the level of a Justin Brock. I'm not to the level of a Medicare Bob or a Jagger. Or I'm not even to the level that I want to be to feed my family right now, right? Don't compare yourself. Your self-worth is not tied to your insurance production, okay? It should be tied to the blessings that you have right now. And let's get better every day. I'm a hard charger. I want the whole world. I want to give the whole world to my wife. I said, you take care of my family, you take care of our kids, I'll take care of everything else. That was my deal. Pretty big promise. So I got to step up, right? I want money just as much as anybody else. What we're after is happiness and an impact. So if you guys are okay, I'm going to be a little honest. This morning I did not do any gratitude. I woke up and I was a little bit, let's just say I could have had one less margarita or gin and tonic, right? And I woke up about 20 minutes later than I wanted to. I didn't do my gratitude. By a show of hands, is it okay if we express a little gratitude real quick before we start? Is that okay with you guys? All right, thank you. Lord, I appreciate you bringing us all together in this room. Whether everyone in this room believes in you or not, I hope that every single person comes here today at this event and truly gets something out of this to go back and change their life and change their business. I am so grateful for all the relationships in this room. And thank you so much for all the blessings that we do have. I ask you, anybody that is going through a hard time right now, please help them get what they need out of this event to go back and help themselves and their families. And please bless my words and help somebody today. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate that. I want you to repeat after me one more time, and then I'm going to get into some marketing stuff, all right? I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the blessings in my life. Everybody say, Justin Brock. Tempest Brock. The whole team. Thank you. All right, I'm going to dive right in. Justin stole this. No, he didn't. But he said some things yesterday that are very similar, so I'm going to take a quick moment to fast forward here. This is my conference strategy. I've spent over $200,000 of my own cash just learning in the last 2 years, paying people for their time and saying, hey, you know something I don't. Why don't you train me? How much money does that take? And not just in the insurance industry, but in a lot of industries, training me on different things. So I believe in education. Here's the thing. Take one thing from each speaker. So you take a page of notes of every speaker. On the plane ride home, I want you to make a summary, and you put every speaker's name that you listen to on one sheet of paper and put one thing that was the most impactful from that speaker that you are going to actually do in your life at some point, okay? Narrow it down to the top 10. Here's the hard part, you guys. Now narrow it down to 3, and then forget about the 3 and narrow it down to 1. One thing that's going to move the needle in your business or in your life. It might not even be in regards to money. It might be a relationship thing. It might be whatever, right? Pick one thing and only focus on that until it's done. When it's done, go back to your list and pick a new one. We oftentimes go through life and we do like 30% of 17 different things and then never actually move the needle, right? One thing completed is better than 17 things half done. All right. The big question is, what do you want? Actually, write that down. That is a powerful question. Actually, write, what do I want? What do I want? We don't give ourselves permission very often to ask ourselves, what do we truly want? There are billionaires out there that I'm sure have thought, I have the world financially, now what? Now what? What do I want? So if you are a 7-figure earner, 8-figure earner, 0-figure earner, no matter where you're at, ask yourself this question right now. What do I want? Also fascinating, networking tip. This question, you ask it and you don't have to say another thing for the rest of your conversation. You say, awesome, now what do you want to do? What do you really want? Josh, what do you want, right? Pete, what do you want? Ask yourself the question. It might shock you to find out, I don't even know. I don't even know. Okay, find out. And then go after it. Let's get it. Once we know what it is, let's get it. A lot of people say, Josh, I want more time or I want more money. Right? We're here to learn about business and money, so let's learn about it. More time or more money. Write this phrase down. It's not an either or world, it's an and world. Let's go get both. Let's go get both. Now that takes time. It takes a lot of effort. Making money, I believe, is easy, but there's a lot of challenges along the way. I work less now than when I was broke, but I'm making more money, so obviously there's no correlation necessarily. There are times where I was up at 2 a.m. till 10 p.m. working. There's seasons of life. So whatever season of life you're in, but just remember there is a better way. Let's keep learning. Let's put in the hustle, but always keep learning. So these are just my levels, and I got a lot to get through, so I better speed up a little bit. These are just my looking at the agencies around the country, learning from high-level people what I believe is a good ranking of levels of an agency, like kind of the progression. And again, ask your question, what do you even want? Do you want to be a solo producer, or do you want to have a large team? There's no right answer there. There isn't. Be honest with yourself. Solo agent, your goal is to develop a full calendar. Full calendar of people that we can talk to and offer our services to. Once that's done, I would add an administrative assistant. A lot of people ask me, what's the next move? Me personally, this is the way I would do it. Add a personal assistant. They take care of all of the other stuff other than sales. The next level, once you max out that next level of production with you and an assistant, some admin staff, now you can start hiring some LOAs. If you have a system, a process to get consistent buyers on your calendar, now it's time to start hiring more agents if you want that. I wouldn't do that until you have a huge renewal base that you can actually afford that. The next level for some people is managing only. When helping your team, when training your team members is now more important, more valuable than selling yourself. A lot of people don't ever get there or even want to get there. So what do you want? The last level is owner status, where you're not really training day to day. You're more of you hired a GM. I don't even know if that exists necessarily. I don't even want that myself. Ask this table over here, they would know. That's kind of the progression. So what do you want? And actually write that down and go after it. So these are the two things I want to talk about today, but I don't know if I have enough time for both, so let's talk about it. Raise your hand if you want me to talk about a marketing machine, how we do things, webinars, marketing, online ads, retargeting. Who wants to learn about that today? Raise your hand. Okay. Put them down. B, who wants agency processes, systems, administrative assistants, that kind of stuff? Raise your hand. Okay, all of you just failed. What did you write down? Somebody tell me. It's not either or, it's an and world, right? We're going to go through both, and if they kick me off the stage halfway through, well, I guess time's up. 80-20 rule, okay. 80% of the time, normally I find when I'm teaching an agent something, a lot of people are spending 80% of their time chasing after leads, trying to get appointments, 20% of the time actually closing deals. I want to build a machine and flip that on its head. What if there was a world where you could attract people to you, qualified buyers, and spend 80% of your time selling and 20% of the time setting up the systems to bring those in? That is the goal. That is the goal. So let's flip it. Let's flip that 80-20. Let's talk about how to do that. Attraction marketing. It is not my job to attract everybody. It's my job to attract the right people and repel everybody else. Okay, I get it. That's a pretty bold statement, to repel everybody else. There are people in this room that probably don't like me. I don't know. I have really good friends that are atheists. I really do. We have a lot of great conversations. We are great friends. We don't hate each other because I'm a Catholic and they're an atheist. There's probably people that think that because I talk about that from stage, that they don't like me. You know what? That's okay. I'm not here to attract someone that will never, ever resonate with me. I don't mean to offend anybody or piss anyone off. That's not what I'm here to do. But in marketing, in the networking world, attracting the right people and repelling the wrong people, that is perfectly acceptable. That's way better because you can never make everybody happy anyway. Here's the moral of the story. If you try to attract everybody, the people that were going to hate you are still going to hate you. But the people that would have loved you got the watered down you. They got the watered down Josh. Don't be the watered down Josh. Be the one that's like, hey, this is who I am. I love Jesus. I love guns. I love whiskey. I love money. I do love gin. Man, I sound like an alcoholic, but I'm not. I love people. I love people. Provide a value, reason, or excuse in any of your marketing. I made that term up, guys. Don't try to Google it. I don't know. It makes sense to me. I want a value, reason, or like an excuse that makes logical sense to the person I'm calling. If I say, hey, Joe, this is Josh Lustig. I was just calling you, I don't know, to answer Medicare questions. Do you have any Medicare questions? No, I don't have any Medicare questions. Click, right? I want my sales staff to have a reason that makes sense to the buyer why we're calling. Guess who can manufacture a reason? I can just manufacture that. How cool is that? So in a webinar, for example, I'm going to, in the webinar, talk about some bonus items that we are going to give you after the webinar. Now, guess what my people can do? My sales staff can call, and the first thing out of their mouth can be, hey, I know Josh promised you to give you some bonus items. My job's to give them to you. Just want to follow through on the promise Josh made you. How easy is that to actually get into a conversation now? They have a reason. In all your marketing, what is the reason? Okay, so here's some marketing ideas. I honestly typed this slide quickly. We can't go through all of them because I do want to get to everything. Online webinars, in-person seminars, lead magnet. A lead magnet is anything that I give to somebody for free in exchange for contact information. Okay? I have an entire list. One of my coaching calls the other day, I went through and I put, all the different lead sources that I know of, a bunch of examples about lead magnets, things like that. I put them down into a, not an Excel sheet, but a Google document. You guys, somebody asked me yesterday or 2 days ago, hey, can I have the slide deck? Yes, you can have the slide deck. I don't know how to get it to you, so last night before I went to dinner, I just put a quick link together. joshlustig.com/PDF, fill it out. It's not going to automatically send it to you because I didn't have time. I'll have somebody on my staff send it to you guys next week. And we'll just shoot you a text saying, hey, you got the PDF. Okay? So if you want that, a bunch of resources are on there because I don't have the ability to print and bring that all with me on the airplane. I thought about it too late. Okay, the webinar funnel. Let's get into it. I love webinars. They're scalable. They're virtual. People do in-person seminars. What you're doing is you're educating the buyer. You're giving them value up front for free, and then giving them the opportunity, hey, I want to help you. Schedule on my calendar automatically, right? Click the gold telephone on your screen. I say that like it's a fact. You probably don't know what that means. I have a gold telephone that pops up on the screen on the webinar. I say, click the gold telephone, go schedule your appointment. Here's how it works. Would you like me to walk through that? Is that boring to people, webinar? Do you want me to just walk through exactly how we do it? We got 5 people. How about a yes? Okay. Okay, so we do a lot of Facebook ads. Okay, Facebook ads, you can do YouTube ads, Google ads. Gosh, any lead source, right? Any type of traffic, anywhere where their eyeballs are at, direct mail, whatever the source is, we just happen to use a lot of Facebook ads. Client sees your Facebook ad. You're promoting a free webinar saying, hey, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about Medicare. What Medicare is, what your options are, and what steps you need to take before you turn 65. They see it, they click the Learn More button. That's not mine, that's just a generic template, if you were wondering. They see it, they go to the next page. Simple. I'm not a graphic designer, guys. I'm a Medicare sales agent, right? It's pretty simple. Medicare 101 webinar. Click here to register. It's next Thursday at 10 a.m. It's next whatever, right? Don't do them on the weekends. You get a bunch of working people. Quick little tip, you want to write that down. It's probably valuable. They go to the registration page. The only goal of the registration page, the only thing that should be on there that they can click on is a big green button that says register now. You don't want it to go to your normal website. And you know what? I'm not into SEO. That's not my gig. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why going to your normal website is probably a good thing. But for actual conversions today, it's called a landing page. A lot of you know that. There's no goal other than the goal you want them to click on. There's no contact us. There's no home screen, about us, none of that. It's a simple page. The only thing they can do is register now. Once they go through that, they just go to a simple thank you page. It's not hard. It just says thank you for registering. We'll reach out to you with the link. Then they go and they receive automated reminder messages. Okay, back to Eric Fierro yesterday talking about the automations, how to get campaigns of text messages, emails, voicemails. You want to remind these people exactly what they did. Hey, the webinar's coming up, the webinar's coming up, the webinar's coming up, the webinar's coming up, right? You want them to remember, put it on their calendar, provide value, provide hype this thing up, right? Make it valuable so they actually attend. The only goal of each of these, kind of like what if you saw my training about the doors in the hallway, if someone's ever seen that, it's kind of the same idea. There's a hallway and a bunch of these doors, and I'm going to go through a door, and there's only one goal before I close that door, lock it behind me, and grab the next door handle, right? So in this, it's the same idea. Right here, I'm not trying to do anything but get them to show up to my webinar. The next one is I'm not in the presentation, I'm trying to sell the appointment, okay? In the presentation, the day and time comes around, 10 o'clock on Thursday, let's say. They're gonna watch the presentation. It's very valuable, giving away a lot of information. There's a very specific way to speak and talk and future pace the audience. And as soon as the ending comes, I say schedule on my calendar by clicking the gold telephone. It's just something that's an old rotary telephone. I think it's a little bit clever. I think that generation kind of likes that. They click the gold telephone, go on my calendar, automatically my sales staff follows up at the date and time they chose, and we sell some Medicare. But don't get too fancy with this. The goal of the webinar is what? The appointment. It sounds very simple, but you can lose track, and all of a sudden you're forgetting what the actual goal was. Number 6, this is where the magic is. A lot of people run webinars. I get that. I've been known to do some webinars fairly successfully, let's put it that way. And in my webinars, I think the magic is in the follow-up. I think the magic is in the automations afterwards. Write this term down, action-based messaging. Action-based messaging. This is when whether a client or a prospect takes an action or does not take an action, they're going to get different messages based on the actions they took or the actions they didn't. So for example, I don't want somebody that attends my webinar to get the same follow-up messages as somebody that missed it. Who has ever attended a... I'm back. Who has attended a webinar of any kind? Who has got a message afterwards saying something like, hey, if you missed the webinar, here's the replay. If you attended the webinar, thank you for coming. Who has got a generic message like that? How special do you feel? I'm a cattle rancher too on the side. I grew up on a farm. You're just a cow going through a chute. You're just another, right? I want them to feel special, like I actually give a damn. Excuse me. I want them to feel special. So they get a message that says, hey, I saw that you attended the webinar. I just wanted to get you the bonus items Josh promised you. This is huge, you guys. This one message that just came out of my mouth, this message is a text message after the webinar. It doubled my appointment ratio. I was getting 50 appointments, now I'm getting 100, let's say, okay? It was on my list, it was on my idea list for months without me taking action on it, thinking, that might be a good idea, but I don't know, there's more important things. I implemented this one text message with the right language. It just happened to work, and now I get twice the results. That's a big deal. That's a big deal when you're tracking CPAs and cost per acquisition like they talked yesterday. So the message, let me reframe that so if you want to take a note, you can. The message says, for those that attended, but they did not go ahead and schedule automatically yet, right? Those people are going to get the message that says, hey, first name, hey, John, saw that you attended the webinar. The bonus items that we promised you, we're getting those prepared now. What's your zip code so I can finish that up? I'm just asking for a zip code. They text the zip code back. I thought I want them to reply like, wow, Josh was so amazing. That was the best webinar ever. We love you. Here's my money, right? Don't expect that. They're going to type 5 digits back, their zip code. And when that happens, you say, great, I'm preparing that for us now. What works better for you, 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. or whatever time slots you have open? Now you just booked another appointment that didn't automatically book. You follow me, you guys? If I was Galen, I'd say, y'all. You follow me, y'all? Someone's like, you must be from the Northwest. Nobody says you guys. I'm like, oh, sorry. Y'all, sorry, y'all. Receives automated follow-up messages. The only goal of those automated messages is to get somebody on the phone. To get them on the phone, on the appointment. Once the appointment is booked, The next part, the favorite part, is the sales call. Let's not lose sight, especially if you are personally selling right now. Sales are made on the phone in our industry. Sales are made on the phone. The goal should be to get people on the phone. Why do you think I repeat every single day, I love selling. I love picking up the phone. Somebody bring me a phone, right? When I walk in, I touch the door handle of the office, my staff should already be excited. They should love the phone. Too many people say, I hate the phone. I don't want to get on the phone today. I just, it's monotonous. Monotony brings us money. Let's be real. Do the thing that makes us money and do it a lot. Do it a lot. So let's get on the phone. One time, this is a side comment here. One time, one of my agents, Robert, walked in and he said something like, somebody missed our webinar. They called into the office, an inbound phone call. This is how in the weeds you can get sometimes in your own head. And I told him, oh yeah, tell them that we'll send them the webinar link. Dude, the entire reason we do a webinar is to get them to call us. I should have said, go sell the person. Go sell them a MedSup. But I got so in the weeds about what the goal was that I thought the goal was for them to watch the webinar. No. The goal is for them to get on the phone and for us to sell them a policy and help them. Don't lose sight of the goal. All right. Again, if you want a copy of that, because I know a lot of people, every time I give a presentation like this, they're like, can I get a copy of the slide deck? Yeah, I'll just email it to you. So give me your email, I guess. I don't know how else to give it to you. If you want it, just go to joshua.com/PDF, and there's a quick little form that's not pretty. I did it last night. No joking. Okay, you guys, if you want to learn more about the webinar process, I got to move on to the next section. The Thrive Seminar is a seminar that I put on, typically out in Idaho. We're doing it out in Denver. Who's heard of Thrive before, the Thrive Seminar? Okay, awesome. Some of you have been there, and I appreciate you guys. It's fun. It's a little bit different of an event. It's a training seminar. So there's not quite as much, there's a lot of networking there, let's put it that way, but it's not really the goal. That's not really the goal. The goal is to teach, to educate, to learn, like hard facts. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Let's actually learn marketing. Let's actually learn sales. That's the main goal. So if that's something you're looking for, I would love to have you there. It's going to be $500 in Denver. That covers some of my costs today. For Medicare Con people, it's $250. Okay? So if you want to come for $250, that breaks me even, covers my cost. We're in Denver, June 26th, 7th, and 8th. It's 2 days. The 27th and 8th is what we're going to be training on. The 26th, there's like a reception, networking party, and the meals are covered. The first 2 days are covered. So anyway, if you want to go to Thrive, I would love to have you there in June in Denver. My friend Eric Fierro, that you saw yesterday, he's going to be speaking as well, teaching some automations, going in and teaching some video ads and things like that. Also, Jolynn Allen. Are you in the room, Jolynn? Jolynn is also going to be out there teaching some business processes and systems, and she's more of a Colorado native. She's local to the area, so we're going to do it out in Denver. Super excited for that. So I think the QR code works. So if you want to go there, it's joshua.com/thrivedenver. I'd love to see you there. All right, I'm going to move on. Agency processes and systems. How much time? Somebody give me a time frame. I'm good? Okay. I'm going to keep going. Agency process and systems. You guys, business owners all across different industries, when they are successful, they build a recipe, they follow the recipe themselves, they duplicate that recipe. Right? It doesn't matter if it's McDonald's, fast food, realtors, insurance agents, financial advisors. It doesn't really matter what industry it is. It's all the same stuff. It's building a business. And that's what we're here to do. So I'm going to talk about a little bit more of the structure of how we run our agency and some administrative stuff about our admins. We want to create a cookie cutter, okay? I want to actually, I had an idea. I was going to have like 1,000 cookie cutters in the room and give everyone a cookie cutter. So here's the deal. You got to go buy your own cookie cutter, put it on your desk, and remember, the goal is to create that, a template that we can just follow. Right? We shoot from the hip a lot when it's just us. When you want to start replicating to other people, you got to realize that other people are not as talented and gifted as you. Most of the time. So when you're hiring someone, likely the reason they're working for you in that capacity is you're bringing some major value to the table. right? And they probably are not the same mindset as you. If they were, they would be doing their own thing. No, nothing's better or worse. It's not better or worse to be an employee or a boss. It's just different. So when you're hiring someone that's different than you got to remember, you got to make it easy on them. That's the whole reason they're working for you. So let's make it a template. Let's make it a process, a system that everybody in the organization follows. Everybody follow me on that? When I got into the business, here's a side note. I read 54 business books between the time I was a junior and a senior in high school, right? So now I'm really smart. Now I'm really smart. And I came into the business at 19, and I decided, my father's in the agency, my brother's in the agency, now my sister's in the agency. Who thinks that I might have some family in that business, right? 4 of us in the same office in a small town. Luckily, it works out. We all have our own little segments that we own, and it works well. When I first got in the business, my dad said, here's $15,000 a year. You're a high roller now. 15 grand. You can now do our accounting and do all of our answering the phones after the secretaries if they're busy. You answer the phones, 9 to 5, butt in the seat. Anybody watch Everybody Loves Raymond in their life? AIS, ass in seat. Be there at 8:30, AIS. Anyway, he said, you do that, you get 75% of anything that you write, and go. There wasn't really a template or a process. He was just bringing opportunity to the table and saying, hey, this is a business that you can be in if you want to be in. Make your own way. Here's a start. And he didn't really have the desire to replicate it the way that some people do, and he is successful, extremely successful in doing it the way he's doing it. Well, when I got into the business, I said, you know what? We are going to have processes, systems. We're going to have job roles. We're going to have job descriptions for once in our life. And I did that. And there's a lot of value that came from that. One thing I forgot to do, you guys, is I trained our staff to think of their job as this, 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 and this. Now, what happens when Josh forgot something and it wasn't on anybody's job description? Now, guess what happened? That's not my job. That's not my job either. And I'm like, well, shit, that didn't work. So have job descriptions, have very, set ways that you do things, but I advise that every job description comes at the end with a clause. I call it the do whatever we say clause. And we joke about it, right? Because it sounds a little harsh, but it's only a half joke. Is whatever needs to happen around here, we all need to pitch in and do. Right? We all, if the floor needs to be swept, is it the highest use of my time to sweep the floor? No. But if it's nobody else is available, I'll do it. I'll jump in. As a leader, you need to jump in and do the things. Now, don't spend your whole day sweeping floors. That's not what I'm saying. Not the highest and best use of your time. But lead by example. That was kind of off topic. Admin's role in daily tasks. We have them do a lot in our business, okay? Administrative assistants, the first thing is they should answer all inbound phone calls and direct the traffic to who in the office is supposed to, take care of that customer. You should not be answering the phone yourself, in my opinion, as the agent. That's the first thing you need off your plate, because anytime you have a project or you have a client in front of you, if another prospect calls in, what the heck are they going to get? I guess a voicemail. If you have to, leave a nice voicemail. But I don't want your focus being separated. The first thing that you would do when you want to start scaling is get the phones off of your plate. There's also a psychological reason, in my opinion, for not answering your own phone calls. Because important, successful, busy people that are professionals never answer their own phone. Have you ever called a doctor office and the doctor was like, Dr. Jones' office, this is Jones. You ever call your very highfalutin lawyer and he answers the phone himself and says, yeah, what do you need? I'm totally available. I'm yours. I have nothing going on. You just, anything you want. When I first started in the business, I kept doing stuff like that. I'd be like, you call me anytime you need anything and I'll just answer the phone. You have a billing question. Josh is your guy. Yeah. You have a claims question. Josh is your guy. Just call me anytime. That is putting the wrong signal. That's saying I'm not important. My time is not valuable. It's the wrong psychology. Answer all inbound traffic and direct them. Client service requests, ID cards, billing, payment inquiries, general things, drug lists, etc. Have them do all of that. Train your staff to be valuable in those areas. Data management. If you have a CRM, who has a CRM already? Who has a CRM? Who knows they need one, but they don't have one yet? Okay, go get a CRM, right? CRMs are awesome. You can track your client data, talk to Eric Fierro, Justin Brock's team. They have a lot of really good resources on how to think about CRMs. I can't get into that because I don't have time today. Outbound calls on behalf of carriers and clients, right? Hey, go call this person. Hey, go do this. Hey, call Miss Sally back and tell her this. Little things. Anything that you can do, anything you can teach them that gets it off of your plate that they can do well, teach people. I had this arrogant belief for a long time in my life that if I wanted things done right, I'd do it myself. That is an attitude of a poor business owner. Extremely wealthy people have to break that and say, look, maybe if I was doing this right now, it would be done 20% better or to my liking, but I don't have time for this. I have to scale. I have to have somebody else do it. 3 people operating at 50% of your capacity is still 150% of what you were doing. You cannot do it all by yourself forever. Now, you could technically, but you can't scale with that attitude. You got to start thinking opposite of what I used to. Other people are smart and intelligent. I can train people to do very good things, right? They are valuable. They can do this. I'm going to teach them, and now I don't have to do it. I constantly tell my clients when they call in, when I was on the phone, I guess, they'd call in, they'd say something, I'd say, hey, I don't know the answer to that. Talk to Chris at the front desk. I don't know how to change Aetna's EFT, payment. I don't know. Is it a form? Can I do it over the phone? I don't even know, guys. Krista does. Krista knows. Krista will take care of it. That's awesome. It helps free up your time. And then again, the do whatever I say clause. And probably laugh when you say that the first time. Do whatever I say. Do it now. Creating systems and processes in your agency. Okay, these are some examples, some ideas that I want you to go back to your agency and think of, especially if you're looking at hiring new people. What is our process? What is our system on these things? I have built a little Bible, if you will, of I just call them process guides, that every new person has to learn to do it this way. They have to learn how to do it in a certain way first. And my agreement with all employees, anytime I hire someone, is they got to agree that, look, my style is I am going to make the final decision. And you have to be okay with trusting me that not every idea you have we're going to implement. But my promise to you is I want every idea that you have. I want every idea. When you have an idea to improve the process or the system, I want to hear about it. Now, I only want to hear about it in set moments in our meetings, right? Where that is set aside time to learn about those things. And I will consider every idea that you have, as long as you're okay knowing that sometimes you're not going to get your way. And as long as we have this working agreement, we're going to get along great, right? And I love that because they're the ones on the front lines. They're the ones that are talking to people all day. So here are some ideas on some different things in your agency to start putting a more formal process together. New lead calls in. You have a referral. You have a prospect of some kind. What's the system? What does your administrative assistant say when they call in? She's the face. We say if you're not smiling when you answer the phone, you shouldn't be answering the phone. Smile. Physically smile. It changes your voice. It changes the way, even over the phone, it changes the way you are perceived by your clients. So have a formal process. That's written down somewhere in the process guide. Agent scripting and sales process for leads to, an actual sales process, like an actual script. If you've seen my T65 sales training, we have 6 situations. Every situation has a script. And when I say script, I mean it's a very defined process that we train them, and then they put the script away because it's memorized. So it doesn't come across as scripty. Like they're not sitting there like, yes, your Medicare Part A is hospital coverage. No, like they're trained on the inflection, and then you can throw the script away once it's memorized. New client packet, a thank you note, follow-ups, retention strategy. Actually, Eric Fierro talked about that yesterday, okay? What's the process for you? What is the process for your client retention? Client service requests. How do we answer the phones? How do we direct people around here? What verbiage do we use? The way I learned verbiage, I just sat in, I just listened from my office, was close enough to my dad's office that I just listened because he didn't want to train me. I just listened and eavesdropped on all these conversations until I just sounded like him. Because, hey, he's a multi-six-figure earner. I'm sure it probably works. Don't know where I'm going to get my next lead, but I guess I'll figure that out in 3 years. Time off protocol for the staff, like actual structures. Updating the CRM. What do we get? We get the phone numbers, we get emails, we get etc. Every single time somebody calls in. We get spouse information every single time somebody calls in. Why? Free leads. If they're 50 years old, let's say, well, that's a little bit drastic. If they're 65 and their spouse is, let's say, 61, am I not going to be in business 4 years from now? Am I not going to want that information? Of course. My agents are like, yeah, that's 4 years from now. I don't want to do that. No, build the pipeline. Now we have the data and we can email them and text them right before their birthday. Sign them up in 4 years. AEP process, MAPD. I got 2 minutes. Awesome. MAPD, PDP plans, etc. You guys, I would love to absolutely say one more time thank you to Justin Brock. Thank you to the event. And I'd love you to give them a big round of applause. Thanks.